Good morning. So thought I'd do a little indoor garden tour. This is the bay window of my kitchen, which until we get the greenhouse built is working as a makeshift greenhouse for me. So I just kind of wanted to show you all how I start my seeds, which will then be planted out in our large garden. So we buy our seeds from a Missouri local company called Baker's Creek. They sell non-GMO heirloom seed varieties. And so my friend Carol and I each take some seeds and things that we want to start. She does better at growing certain things. I do better at growing certain things. And off we go to the races. So just show you a little bit of what I've got going on here. So I have dozens of tomatoes started. And as they get big enough, when they start to grow their true leaves, meaning they get a first set of leaves and then they get a second set of leaves and then they're big enough to pot up. And so I buy a bag of garden soil and then I add to it compost that I have made myself, along with maybe some what's called pot ash, which is ash from the fire pit, which has a lot of potassium in it. And I kind of mix all that together, and that's the soil that I use. And if I see that the leaves are starting to yellow a little bit, then I add more of the potash and compost to it to make sure that they're getting enough nutrients. Annual plants such as tomatoes, squash, things like that really eat a lot. They really need a lot of nutrition. So in here, I've got mortgage lifter tomatoes. I've got brown sugar tomatoes. I've got some basil that I started, but I'll probably seed for that outside once it's warm enough. I've got, let's see, I think that's all that's over here right now because I've potted up the rest. Up here, we've got mushroom basket tomato. This is the giant tomatoes I get that are like 2 pounds. They're really, really big. In the back, I've started some sunflowers. But I'll probably go ahead and just seed those directly into the ground. These are nasturtium, which are not looking real good. And so I just did a little more soil amendment. I decided to try to start them indoors this year, and I don't know, they're not liking it very much. So again, I did some soil amendment, and we'll see if they perk up. Here's more tomatoes in here. And I just save these little bins when I'm done in my garden shed, and I pull them back out. These are pumpkins, and part of the reason I use these little bins like this is because when I'm using these trays, I don't water from the top because that can destroy and disturb the actual seeds. And so I actually water into the bottom of it, and then they soak it up from the bottom. So these are actually pumpkins, heirloom varieties that are sort of, I guess what I would call ugly pumpkins that are blue and green and bumpy, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how those turn out. And we're going to be doing the Three Sisters method, which is a method that the Native Americans use where you plant corn along with beans and then squash. So we're going to be doing that this year. Over here, I've got some flowers. I've got some status. Only one of my feverfew came up, so I'm kind of sad about that. I went ahead and started some dill. We like to do a lot of pickling. And I'll probably, again, seed for that as well. I've got some marigolds that I started. We tend to direct seed those also. I have over here some balsam, which I grew last year, and it's not looking good. I need to pot it up and amend the soil and see if we can save as many of those plants. But they did really well in my shade garden last year. These are more pumpkins back here that I'm ready to pot up. Pumpkins, more tomatoes. These are tomatoes I've just potted up with the twins last night. They helped me. One thing I'm really excited about is this is asparagus up here. This ferny looking stuff. This is asparagus that I grew from seed. And I actually have some asparagus in the garden already that is actually producing. This is year 2, and I am seeing some actual stalks that can be edible. I'm going to probably leave it alone. And then we're going to be planting this out, which I'm just thrilled about. Sweet peas, flowering sweet peas. I'm probably going to put those out next week. I've already started to harden those off, meaning set them outside, let the wind blow on them, get them longer and longer each day outside until they're used to it. And those will go in the ground. And the flowers from sweet peas smell so amazing, and they make the cutest little colorful bouquets. It's amazing. This is arugula. that I got from the feed store up the street. The owner gave it to me because I provided him with fertilized duck eggs and chicken eggs for the local school. So he just gave me that. This is chamomile, which, oh my gosh, it's so amazing when you walk past the chamomile and just run your fingers over it in the summertime. It has the most amazing smell. And then you can collect the flowers to make tea. We have some zinnias and then some African daisy, which I decided to grow for my friend. And I'll give her those. And then we have more nasturtium. So that's pretty much what we've got going on in here. Most everything else that I got seeds for will be direct sown, probably in about 2 weeks. We'll take a week off school, we'll do our spring break, and I will just plant out the entire garden to get everything going. And then I will be doing outdoor garden tours. And in fact, I do have things growing outside, and I will probably do a little video to show you all that. Oh, last but not least, I ordered or bought a bare root blueberry bush. And here you can see it's got little leaves and seems to be doing all right. And I have tried planting, buying bare root and then planting it directly outside, and it hasn't gone really well. So I'm going to start to, I'm going to plant the bare root indoors and see if I can get it established and then transfer it outside. And one thing I do to keep everything watered is I keep a watering can, and then I can come by and spritz things. And the twins love to just come over here. I'll find them over here just spritzing things, keeping things alive for me. And of course, this counts as homeschooling. They're learning about growing things, planting things, and they love to help me with it. So anyway, that's kind of what we've got going on right now in my little farmhouse kitchen. So I'll back up so you can kind of see the scope of it. This is our bay window area. It's a very high ceiling way up there. That's herbs that are drying from last year. And there we go. All right, guys. I am ready to garden.